we are told to identify a rhombus that is also a rectangle. So pause this video and have a go at choosing which of these meets those constraints, and then we'll do this together. All right, now let's do this together. So let's think about what it means to have a rhombus. So there's a few ways to approach it, but my brain always thinks 4 equal sides. You might also hear people say 2 pairs of parallel sides, but it turns out if you have 4 equal sides, you're definitely going to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So let's think about which of these choices at least meet the condition to be a rhombus. Well, choice A is definitely a rhombus. All 4 of these sides are the same, so that one looks good. Choice B is clearly not a rhombus. These 2 sides are the same, but then these other 2 sides are potentially different. And so I will rule choice B out. Now choice C is a rhombus. All 4 sides are the same. Now what's the difference between choice A and choice C? Well, choice C, all of my angles are right angles, where in choice A, they at least don't make it very clear that it is, and they're probably not right angles. And so now let's look at the choice for a rectangle. Well, a rectangle is a quadrilateral where you have four right angles. Now you could also say you have 2 pairs of parallel sides, but it turns out if you have 4 right angles, you're going to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So choice A right over here does not meet the constraint for a rectangle. So we need to meet both of them. So we're going to rule this one out. So A is a rhombus, but not a rectangle. B actually is a rectangle, but not a rhombus. And C is both. You have 4 equal sides and you have 4 right angles. So I'm liking choice C. Another way you could think about it, if you think about all quadrilaterals, so all things with 4 sides. So this is quadrilaterals. I'll just write quad for short there. And then you could, and that might include things that have no parallel sides, something like this. But then you could say, all right, well, what if I want to have at least 1 pair of parallel sides? Well, then you could have this category of trapezoids. Trapezoids, where you have at least 1 pair of parallel sides. And so you could have a trapezoid like this that has 1 pair of parallel sides. But then you could also have a trapezoid that has 2 pairs of parallel sides. This is the inclusive definition of the trapezoids, where even 2 pairs of parallel sides meets the conditions. So 2 pairs of parallel sides might look something like that. And we call this, right over here, we call this a parallelogram. Parallelogram. Now within parallelograms, there's some parallelograms where all of the sides are equal. So if all of the sides are equal, then we're talking about a rhombus. Rhombus over here. So that is this right here is a rhombus. And let me actually make it clear that these sides are parallel to each other, just to make it very, very, very clear. This side over here is parallel to that side. Now here, they're parallel to each other and we have 4 equal sides. But then you could also imagine that, well, what about a situation where it's 4 equal sides and 4 right angles? Well, that's a subset. Then you're talking about a square, essentially. And a square is a subset of rectangles, but we just saw that some rhombuses are rectangles, some rhombuses aren't, and some rectangles are rhombuses, and some rectangles aren't. So if we make another set right over here of rectangles, where rectangles and rhombuses intersect, you get squares. And then right over here, you would have things like choice B, where you have 4 right angles, but you have pairs of equal sides, but all of them aren't the same. So hopefully this helps you out, or you could do it the way we did it initially with a little bit of deductive reasoning.